Hello one and all, and welcome to this explanatory video on the topic of wage push inflation. Now what is wage push inflation, you say? Well, wage push inflation is simply the situation where there is an increase in wages independent of labor productivity. The cost of production for producing goods then increases, and producers pass this increase in cost to consumers by pushing up prices for their products, and then the vicious cycle repeats itself. So, let me start off with the lovely scene of a phone manufacturing company, Trump. Trump is one of the largest and most reputable phone manufacturing companies in the world, employing several tens of thousands of workers. Wages were kept low and all was peaceful for some time. Oh, what's this? It appears that workers are indeed searching for a means to better working conditions, all starting with a wage increase. The workers' expectations have led them to predict a 10% inflation rate the following year. Hence their decision to ask the employer to increase their wages by at least 10%, which would hold their real wages constant. But sometimes the pleas of the workers are ignored by the employers. That's why there are trade unions to help them bargain for an increase in wages. However, in spite of the wage increase, being the lazy people they all are, none of the workers picked up the pace or worked any harder than when they were paid $500 a month. Phones were being churned out at the same slow pace, with the same amount of output produced. What we experience here is known as a rise in the cost of production. With the rise in this cost of production, the company is finding it more and more expensive to produce the phones. In order to cope with this rise in price, the company has decided to increase the price of its phones. Being the increasingly technologically advanced city that we live in, phones have become an indispensable part of our lives. As such, the cost of living has risen by a considerable amount. With this increase in their cost of living, these workers now ask for a further pay raise. With this further pay raise, cost of production increases once again, and price of phones increase, cost of living rises, wages rise once again, cost of production increases. This is, in short, a wage price spiral. Let's investigate the effects of wage push inflation. So, wage push inflation can adversely affect a country's economy. It becomes less attractive for investors to invest in that country as cost of production is high due to the higher wages of workers, leading to a decrease in foreign direct investment.
Hello, sir. Didn't they only used to be $200?
This in turn affects the export competitiveness of goods, which
good
may result in
price.
unfavorable effects on balance of payment of a country. So to curb wage push inflation, governments can implement supply-side policies to restrict the increase in wages so that it does not rise greater than the rise in productivity. This will maintain the price stability in the economy. One way would be to limit the power of trade unions and change their attitude towards wage demands. So governments can also pass legislations to limit or freeze wage increases. In Singapore, the National Wage Council exists to set guidelines on wage increases to ensure wage increases do not exceed the productivity gains, thereby maintaining unit labor costs in Singapore. A long-term solution would be to increase the level of labor productivity so that aggregate supply can increase to match the increase in cost of production. If the increases in labor productivity is higher than wage increases, the unit cost of production will decrease, thereby lowering the rate of inflation. For instance, companies can send their workers for retraining and skills upgrading.
Faster. Hey, faster. Hey, what's your problem? Why you so weak? Huh? You suck. Seriously. Watch. See, my grandmother can do faster than you.
Oh yeah.
I cannot.